I just prefer areas where there's fewer guns. I think you get more fun tough guys there. I went to London, England. And in London, they have no guns. And anyone there could be a tough guy. You could get your ass kicked by a guy with an umbrella and a bowler hat. It might happen. I was there with 8 other Americans. We were there for a work trip. And at the end of the week, to celebrate, we went on a pub crawl. And towards the end of the pub crawl, this tiny little, very drunk British guy had latched onto our group. And at first it was fun, but towards the end of the night, it was clear that he wasn't really picking up on any verbal cues, and he wouldn't stop hassling a couple of the women we were with. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go talk to him. I'll let him know his night's over. I'm a big guy. There's 9 of us. I'll handle it. So I walked over to him and I looked down. And I said, hey, buddy, I think you've had enough to drink. I think it might be time for you to go home. And he looked up at me and he said, oi, what's that, Porky? I think it's time for you to kiss my ass. And it hurt, because I'd never been cussed at in that accent before. I was like, oh, that's how Paddington talks. But I collected myself, right? I was like, I don't think you heard me. I said it's time for you to go home. And he said, I don't think you heard me. It's time for you to kiss my ass. And that gave me pause. I was like, why is this guy so confident? I know he doesn't have a gun, but is Harry Potter real? Is magic real? Do they still have swords over here? Maybe I misread the situation. Maybe this guy's about to pull a sword on me, right? I don't have a sword. And I didn't want to fight anyway, so I was like, hey, buddy, we're not looking for trouble. And he cut me off. He said, oh, you found trouble, mate. It sounded so cool. For a second, I was like, oh, someone's gonna get their ass kicked. Oh, no, it's me. I'm the one. And then he said, right, I'll sort out all 9 of you then. And he took his hand and he reached it into the waistband of his pants. And when he did that, my heart caught in my throat. Because I'm an American. When someone does that here, it means they have a gun. And you've misread the situation drastically. And I thought it was very scary. Also, I thought it was a little bit funny. Even in that moment. Because I was like, you're gonna get shot in London? Flying all the way over here? We make the finest artisanal gun violence in the world back home. This is like a French guy trying champagne for the first time in Madison, Wisconsin. What's going on? But I was terrified. And you learn who you are in those moments. And I was not happy to find out who I am, because I looked around at my friends and I swear to God, I thought, boy, I hope he shoots one of them first. That's what I thought, because it's still England. Once he gets one shot off, it's gonna like take him a while to reload. Like. But then, he pulled his hand out of his pants. And he was not holding a gun, but he was holding. And I need you to know that sometimes comedians make stuff up, but this is 100% true. He pulled out a completely full pint of beer. And he'd been moving around. He was active. Not a drop spilled. There's not information I'm not sharing with you, okay? He pulled, maybe his penis is like a monkey tail. He can hold stuff with it. I don't know. But he was holding this beer and he said, shall we? And then he drank the entire thing in one gulp, took the glass and threw it against the wall of the pub, and then started walking towards me and my friends like this. And the 9 of us took off in 9 different directions so fast. It was like he pulled a machine gun. And that's the kind of tough guy we don't have enough of in this country.
I'm very self-conscious about my weight. I weighed myself the other day at 7 a.m., prime weighing time. Women know what I'm talking about. Prime weighing time. And it was a high number on prime weighing time. And I told my friend, and my friend goes, well, you gotta weigh yourself naked. I was legitimately insulted. Seriously, I'm mad bringing it up right now. I was like, dude, do you think this is my first fucking rodeo? Are you kidding? I'm always naked on the scale. I invented being naked on the scale. Are you out of your mind? It's a fine process. I'm naked. I just took a shit. I shaved all my pubes. I have 1 foot off the scale. Even at the doctor's office, when the nurse tries to weigh me, I'm like, I'm getting undressed. You can stay here or not. But this is happening. I'm getting undressed. I'm gonna take a poop, and then we can do this, okay? Because I'm not gonna weigh myself at 4 p.m. Fully clothed? Are you out of your fucking mind? You wanna ruin my entire month? And definitely not at the doctor's office where they always put you on a scale that looks like the first scale ever invented. Are they ever gonna upgrade that shit? Ever? You know what I'm talking about? It's like a pole with weights on top. It's the same scale Archimedes built in the year 1. It should be in a natural history museum, but instead it's in every doctor's office. And it sucks because it doesn't even tell you the weight. You stand on it like it's the scales of justice. And then the nurse stands behind you, looks at you, guesses in her head just how fat a piece of shit you are. And then does these mathematical calculations that take about like an hour and a half. Like, all right, 150 plus 50. You're fatter than I thought. Don't worry, we'll get it on the second try. I always get it on the second try. 150 plus 90. All right, hey, you're less fat than my second guess, but you're still more fat than my first guess. Don't worry, I have a formula to get to my third guess. I'm like, can you just get out a digital scale for the love of God? Can we please stop playing The Price is Right with my fats? I'm glad you all laughed at that. Because I did that bit, I swear to God, 2 weeks ago in Birmingham, Alabama, and it bombed completely. That turns out it is very hard to do fat jokes when you're the thinnest person in the room. There was a real disconnect. The joke did not work. I'm like, I'm so fat. I look out at the audience, half of them are in wheelchairs. Man, you're not fat, you can walk. In Alabama, you're either fat or you can walk. Those are the 2 designations. Talking about being fat when you're in perfectly good shape. I fucking hate when hot people use body positivity. Fucking hate it.
It's dangerous having no kids at this age. Because when you're a middle-aged white male, you start developing hobbies. And we traditionally have not had the best hobbies. I have too much free time, and I've found myself getting into conspiracy theories. I think my generation is especially prone to conspiracy theories, by the way. I think we are, because I have a theory that when people my age... When people my age were kids, people told us that there were boners in Disney movies. And then we got older, and it turned out that there were boners in Disney movies. So what else aren't they telling us? You know what I mean? But I did. I knew myself too well. I enjoyed the Da Vinci Code too much to be 100% sure that I wouldn't eventually get into QAnon, right? Like, so I've had to pick up hobbies. I've had to pick up hobbies so I don't get into like conspiracy theories. I swear this is true. I got into smoking meat. So I would have something to do. I did. I got like a big green egg in my backyard and I smoked meat on it. And QAnon and smoking meat are actually pretty similar pursuits. Whichever one you get into, you end up watching a lot of 90-minute YouTube videos. Where it's just like a fat, sweaty guy in Mississippi talking right into the camera. Here's what they're not telling you about natural gas, brother. But I did. I got into smoking meat so I wouldn't get into conspiracy theories. You might say, instead of QAnon, I actually can't tell this joke. I'm sorry, I can't do it. No, I'm sorry, I can't do it, I know. No, this is the special. You all came here tonight. I appreciate you so much for supporting me, but in good conscience, I can't tell this joke because if we're being 100% honest with each other, last time I did, somebody died. Because it's... No, it's because it's too funny. It's too funny of a joke. I appreciate you volunteering. But even still, it's random. It's random. But I can't do it. I just can't do it, all right? I can't feel like, so we'll just move on. Is that all right, I'm gonna tell it, but like okay. Just set the scene again. About 25 minutes of the most blistering stand-up comedy you've ever heard, and then... Okay, in the context for this, I got into smoking meats and I wouldn't get into conspiracy theories. You might say, instead of QAnon, I just can't do it. I'm sorry. Because for you, this is all fun and games, right? But I was on stage. I saw it happen. Someone was sitting right there and they laughed so hard that their skeleton flew out of their body. And the skeleton sat down next to them and the skeleton was laughing. So the skin was laughing and then the skeleton was laughing and the skeleton was laughing so hard that the ghost flew out of the skeleton. And then all three of them were laughing together, right? All three, and then the skeleton and the ghost, they looked at each other, and then the skin and the skeleton looked at each other, and then all three of them looked at each other, and they were like, whoa, and then they all three collapsed. And now I am locked in litigation, all right? Heavy litigation. And I have not worked in show business in over a year. All right, I'll tell it. Okay. Instead of again, just set the context. I got into smoking meat so I wouldn't get into conspiracy theories. All right, here we go. Instead of QAnon, I got into barbecuanon. Hard to come back from that one. That's probably gonna have to tear the theater down after that. It is though. It is hard to tell another joke after that.
Before Alabama, I was in Florida, and I like Florida. A lot of people shit on it. I like it. Florida's an interesting place. Florida now has like this weird mix between like fascism and libertarianism. Everyone there's like, I don't want any gay books in the library, and also that's my alligator, and I can fuck it if I want to. Get those gay books out of here, but let me fuck my alligator. I was in Key West at a gig, and there was roosters all over Key West. And they were really annoying. They were waking me up every morning. And I was curious why roosters wake you up. I had no idea. And now that I'm annoyed, I was like, you know what? Let me look it up, you know? So I looked it up, why roosters, crow in the morning. And it's interesting. Does anyone know? It's a mating call. That's how horny roosters are. Just think about that. I mean, I'm horny, but that's a whole other level. Just think about that. The minute they wake up at 4 in the morning on someone's roof, they open their eyes and are like, someone fuck me right now. I am ready to fuck right now. Someone fuck me. I have been up now for, oh my God, 3 seconds. And no one has had sex with me! This is an outrage! Someone fuck me right now! Fuck me, fuck me, fuck me! Everybody wake up! Wake up! You all think you can sleep while I'm this horny? Go fuck yourself! Wake up and one of you fuck me! I've now been up for 10 seconds! Fuck me! Fuck me! Shut up, rooster! I'll shut up when a chicken sucks my dick! Then I'll shut the fuck up! You wanna suck my dick? Please suck my dick! You don't understand the agony! It's been almost a minute since I've woken up! Suck my dick! Please! I mean, all we hear is cock-a-doodle-doo, but that's what they're saying. My favorite thing on the road is when I do that bit and someone comes in back from like the bathroom halfway through the bit. So they just see me on stage going, fuck me! Someone fuck me! Any of you, fuck me! The person's like, wow, he's really doing the subtext behind comedy now. I love traveling, I do get anxious when I fly. I get very anxious about turbulence. And I told that to my therapist. And I have a therapist who's good. He's very good. But he does this annoying thing. Whenever I tell him I'm anxious about something, he likes to remind me about the thing I'm actually anxious about deep down. And it's always way worse than the thing I think I'm anxious about. The other day, I told him I was like anxious when I fly, like when turbulence makes me like hyperventilate. And I swear to God, he goes, Ronan, you're not actually anxious about flying. What you're anxious about is dying without anyone loving you. So confront that. Like, I'd rather be anxious about the flight. What am I paying you for? But I have a girlfriend now, and it's great, we have a great time. Thank you. It's a little make-a-wishy, but you did it! Someone fucked you! Someone answered your call. We have a good relationship. We fuck and watch true crime documentaries. That's pretty much everyone's relationship nowadays. I love true crime documentaries. Are we a fan of them in here? All right. I love them. My favorite part of every true crime documentary is there's always a part where the serial killer goes on trial, right? And they always cut to a journalist. And he always says the same thing. And I always find it weird. He always goes, he showed no remorse in trial. Like, none. They always say that like they're shocked. I'm like, wouldn't it be weird if he did show remorse? Wouldn't that be the weird part? Just a serial killer in trial, like... Oh my God! Holy shit! believe I fucking ate 12 people! What the hell was I thinking? Is that the family members? I forgot about the family members! I totally forgot about you! I feel so much remorse. You gotta let me go. That's how bad I feel. As you get older, your reaction to serial killer documentaries change. This is part of getting older. Like I saw one recently, and the narrator, and it said, and the serial killer had hid 22 bodies in his home. And my first thought was like, God damn, that's a lot of square footage. Do you know what I mean? I was like looking around my studio apartment. I'm like, I could hide 2 bodies in here, tops. And that's not a brag, by the way. I could hide them, but I couldn't have people over. That would be the end. I couldn't have a party. That would be a very tense party. Hey, Rana, can I get a beer from the fridge? I'll get it. I will get it. Can we open it without you looking? Me and my girlfriend have been together for about 1.5 years, and it's going great. We're thinking actually about having kids, and she's worried. She's like, I'm 37, what if we try to have kids and I can't have kids? And I'm very sincere, because to me, I was like, babe, it's not a big deal. Like, if you can't have kids naturally, like, worst case scenario, we'll just have a better life. It's fine. It's fine. Worst case, nightmare scenario, all else fails, we'll just be well rested all the time. We won't age rapidly like all my friends. I love being in a relationship, but it's always been hard for me to be in a relationship. I always run away. And this is the first time I've gone past 1 year. And it's because I have low self-esteem. I hate myself. This is how low my self-esteem is. When someone's into me, I view that as a red flag. Do you understand the level of self-hatred in that thought process? I'm like, oh, she's attracted to me? Fucking psycho. The problem is, I always fantasize about women who aren't into me. That's my big thing. I always fantasize about them. And the reason that is because I got rejected a lot growing up. I remember I was in Louisville when I was in college, and I remember I told this girl I was in love with her. I like really opened up to her. It was hard. It's the most love I ever felt. And I remember she said, and I quote, I see you more like a brother. Yeah. Now, fortunately, we were in Kentucky, so I still had a shot, technically. At best, it was mixed signals, you know? It's a little joke to deflect the pain. But I always fantasize about women who aren't into me, and the reason that is because I got rejected so much as a child, that was my childhood experience. So now when a woman's not into me, I'm hurt, but I'm also nostalgic. She's like, I don't want to fuck you. And I'm like, my childhood. And then when a woman's into me, I want to run away, you know? Because I have trouble loving and being loved. But I'm trying to question my beliefs and really let myself be loved. And my girlfriend's great. She makes it easy. She's awesome. She's smart and beautiful. She's hot. She does not have borderline personality disorder. And she did make me say that. She's great, and she's a survivor. She survived open heart surgery last year, and she's doing great, yeah. Yeah. And it really brought us closer together, because now we're both out of breath when we go upstairs, and that's a bond. You know what I mean? This is true. On our first date, I'm not making this up, on our first date, she said she was about to get open heart surgery. And I was like, that's fine. I was pretty desperate at the time. I'm just telling my story. Whenever young people get offended, I always go, I'm just telling my story. And they're like, oh, as long as you're telling your story, that's fine. And then our second date, she said she had herpes. That's also fine. Herpes is overly stigmatized. A lot of people have it. Sir, you definitely have it. It's overly stigmatized. And that's not personal. I always point to someone who looks like they have herpes in the audience. It's fine. Wow, he is not laughing at all about that. The fact that you're not laughing makes me think you 100% have herpes. Usually people are like, ha 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 ha, but you're like... Which is fine. Herpes is fine. Herpes is overly stigmatized. A lot of people have it. It's not a big deal. And also, you have less chance of getting herpes if you have sex with someone who already knows they have herpes. At least that's how she explained it to me. And then our third date, I'm not making this up, our third date, she said she had just found out she had gotten bed bugs. Bed bugs. That's the fucking line. Bed bugs? Are you kidding me? I'd rather get AIDS than bed bugs, seriously. And not the fun, sexy AIDS now, like the old school, like Philadelphia AIDS. You know that AIDS, the kind of AIDS where when you play it in a movie, they give you an Academy Award immediately. Like when you come to the set, they're like, here's your Oscar, you already got it. Bed bugs are a nightmare. I don't know if you've ever read the treatment, but it's insane. The treatment's always like, burn down your house and kill your entire family. And at this point, I'm like, is she cursed? Am I dating a cursed woman? I like her, but is she cursed? Is she like Job from the Bible? Well, you remember Job? God sent down all those curses to test his faith. Is that the situation here? Is the piano gonna fall on both our heads if I don't get out of this? And then I had even scarier thought, what if me dating her is one of the curses? Like, can I even leave, or am I part of this plan? It's God like, all right, we gave her herpes, now let's really test her faith. Send in a fat Jewish comedian who will wear her down with his hypochondria. We have a lot of good sex. Sex is important in a relationship. We have a lot of kinky sex. Very kinky. I like kinky sex, you know what I mean? Part of being in a relationship, you're having sex, you're always like, is this what everyone's doing, or am I a pervert? You never really know. You kind of never know the answer to that. I like kinky sex, and that's the thing I like about young people. Like, young people now, the new generation, you're very annoying in many ways, but you're open about your kinks, and I like that. You have no shame. That's great. I'm 39. I come from a very old-fashioned type of dating where you slowly reveal all your perversions, right? So by the time the other person has the whole fucked up picture, it's just a little too late for them to leave. That's old-fashioned dating. I'm like, yeah, I like to get pissed on, but now your name's on the lease. Gotcha! Gotcha! You're not going anywhere. Now drink some water and let's begin. Yeah! I like kinky sex. We do a lot of role playing. Role playing is awesome. You can be creative. You can have fun. My girlfriend finally gets some use out of her acting degree. It's awesome. But we do a lot of role playing. We do a lot of like master servant role playing. Like the other day, before we had sex, she was like, clean the living room. It's disgusting. And then I cleaned the living room, you know? And she's like, you missed a spot. And then she slapped me. It's fucking hot. She was like, now clean the dishes. They're filthy. Dirty animal. And I clean the dishes. And I swear to God, she goes, you know what? I'm actually not in the mood to have sex right now. Like, babe, you have to have sex with me. Otherwise, this is just an abusive relationship. If you don't fuck me right now, you're a predator. That's how this works. We have a lot of great kinky sex. I love for her to like yell at me in bed. I like her to just yell mean shit at me in bed. I love it. And she's great. She's a champ. She gets into it. Acting degree. She's very good. But lately, we've been together a year and a half. Lately, I've noticed the mean shit. I don't know. It's like she's been incorporating a lot of nagging into the dirty talk. Like, I want her to yell mean shit, but this feels like personal grievances, you know what I mean? It's like different, you know? Like we were fucking the other day and she was like, you filthy animal, you dirty animal. The way you never take out the trash and always leave it piled up and you pretend you don't see it. And when are you gonna do your taxes? It's already been 8 months. I'm like, babe, when you talk like that, you sound like my mom, okay? Which is a huge problem, because I come immediately. It's a huge problem. And then we both stare at her painting hanging above the bed.